As I was thinking about what magic trick I would like to share with you this week, I started thinking about the time of the year, and of course, Easter is coming. And I remember back in 1990, I was invited to perform at the White House along with my wife Debbie for the annual Easter egg hunt. And all the performers were awarded an egg, and the kids all were able to get an egg as well. And it was just kind of a neat opportunity, a neat performance for us to be able to participate in. So as I was thinking about Easter and about that egg on that particular Easter, of course, we were in Washington. We weren't here in Appleton at the time. And when we returned, my family, my mom and my dad, had Deb and I over for a belated Easter dinner. And following that dinner, my dad said, "Oh, by the way, I have a trick that I'd like to share with you." Now, my dad was a wonderful, wonderful man, and he had a great sense of humor. And when he said, "I want to share a trick with you," of course, we put on the old, "Oh, this ought to be good" face. "Oh, please, Dad, please do." And what he had was a glass and a coin. And he did the particular trick, and it absolutely blew me away. Now, I had been doing magic at that time for, probably 20 years professionally around the world, and I had not seen this particular trick. And I thought, oh my goodness, all right. So I begged and begged and begged for him to share it with me, and of course he wouldn't. And then a few weeks later, he finally gave in, and he showed me. I'd like to share with you the trick that my father taught me on that particular Easter day, Easter dinner. You need a glass to do this, a little stage, a little performing area, a piece of paper, and a coin. Now this can be, it could be a quarter, it could be a dime, it could be a plastic token of some sort. I was caught being nice today, or I was caught being good, token, but nothing too thick. It needs to be relatively thin. And all you do is you set that coin down next to the glass, and then you take a scarf. Now, I'm using a scarf simply because I happen to have one, but if you don't have a little scarf, this is about a 6-inch scarf, you could simply use a piece of tissue paper, okay, like a Kleenex, a tissue paper, and all you do is you lay it over the glass, all right, and the coin, just like so. You just lay it over the top. You pick up the glass, you set it over the coin. You say a magic word and give it a little magic tap, and then you remove the tissue and the coin vanishes just like that. Now, I'm sure if I could see your faces, it'd probably be quite similar to the one I had on my face as my father shared this with me. And then he just covered it back up, picked the glass up, moved it over, and the coin returned just like that. It's so cool, and it's so easy, and that's the beautiful thing about this. I'd like to share with you now, one more time. All you do is you cover up the glass, you pick up the glass, you cover the coin vanishes. You cover it back up, you move it back over, and the coin reappears. No hocus pocus, nothing up my sleeve, no magic wands required. But what is required is a glass that has been specially prepared. You see, this glass, all right, on the top happens to have a piece of paper that I've glued onto it before you start. So when you start the trick, you don't want to start the trick like this, right? Or your audience is gonna see that. You always want to keep your glass on your performing stage. And you want to make sure your performance stage is the same color as the bottom of the glass. This doesn't work very well. Just saying, okay? So, in order to do this, all you do is you take a glass. I have one here that's not prepared, and you would just use a glue stick or some white glue. And if I'm using Elmer's glue like this, more of a liquidy type of glue, I like to pour it out and then dab it on my finger, so I just get a nice rim of glue around that, and then just set it on a piece of white paper, or what could be red paper. You don't want lined paper or any paper with a design at all, just a solid piece of paper. And then you would just take your coin. Oh, I forgot this part. You want to take your coin first and place it down on the table. Oops. And then put your paper over the top of that, and then put your glass over the coin. Because what will happen is when the glue dries, it's going to pull that paper tight, almost like a drum head. All right? And if you don't put a coin underneath it to dry, when you set it on your coin, it'll actually wobble. It'll sit so tight on that coin. So you want a little give underneath that coin. Then you let the glue dry, and then just simply take your scissors and trim around the glass so you have a nice smooth edge all the way around the glass. All right? So we'll get rid of these. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? If you have questions on this, please leave comments below. I'm happy to address any of them for you as you can. Now, when you present this trick then, of course, you would just bring the glass in sitting like so and have your coin and your silk in your other hand. It's a very natural thing to do. Just set this down, set the coin next to it, do your little presentation, a little story. As clowns, magicians, we can kind of do this as just a straight up magic trick. For my Santa friends, we can build little stories around this. In fact, let's use this for my Santa friends as a creative exercise. Go ahead and post some stories, and we can help one another develop extra stories that might be appropriate during a home visit or a breakfast with Santa. Okay? And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do the trick. Take your tissue or your scarf, place it over it, set it over the penny or your coin, and it's gone. Cover it back up, set it next door, and poof, it reappears. Now, one thing you want to make sure to do is be careful that when you set your cloth down, that it doesn't accidentally slide under the glass, so that as you pull it off, it's going to drag the scarf along with it, right? You want to make sure of that. So you're just going to cover it up, pick it up gently, just slide it over the penny, poof, it's gone. Cover it back up, and it reappears just that quickly. Now, if somebody is watching, they're going to want to reach out right away, and they're going to want to grab the glass, right? Your audience, they're going to want, hey, let me try it. Let me see if I can do it. All right. How I counteract that is I'll always have a second glass that's ungimmicked and an extra piece of paper with me, okay? So that they say, hey, let me try that. I say, oh, I don't share my stage with anyone. I happen to have a stage right here for you, however. All you need is a glass like mine, set it down, and put the penny, give them the tissue or the scarf, and of course when they pull it, the penny is still there. While they're doing that, I take my stage, my glass, and I set it aside so that I'm never exposing the gimmick of the trick